You know, it's been quite an achievement now. We're looking at AI just evolving at such a fast pace. I mean, just a few years ago, we were laughing about that little weird rendering of Will Smith eating a spaghetti, and it just looked like an absolute visual abomination. But now, with recent AI rendering, there's actual videos now where that messy little GIF looks like a really sophisticated version of it, and it's getting close to being almost too real. And then we have Google View that just unveiled last month in a big showcase, and it's already looking very impressive with what they can do with pure video AI generation. And it's something that it's very difficult to tread on and discuss and be okay with it, because sooner or later we have to come to terms that now the entertainment industry could be utilizing AI in some shape or form. They have been trying to do it, and I believe there has been some backlash behind of it, and there's some stigma, there's some anti-culture as well. Good example was The Brutalist, was a movie that won a few awards, but they did use some AI, and it got some really negative feedback behind that. So where the West is still having to tread it very carefully, the Chinese film industry is like, you know what? Forget the ethics, forget all the debate. We're going all in, because there's a Chinese studio right now planning to use AI to remake some classic kung fu films of Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and Jet Li. This was announced as a big initiative known as the Kung Fu Movie Heritage Project 100 Classics AI Revitalization Project. That was a mouthful. And this was unveiled at the Shanghai International Film Festival, and it aims to digitally remaster and remake classic kung fu films starring legendary martial artists like Bruce Lee, like Jackie Chan and Jet Li, using AI technology. Films like Fists of Fury, Drunken Master, and Once Upon a Time in China are being targeted for AI-driven updates that will modernize their visuals, their sounds, and overall aesthetics, and making them more appealing to contemporary audiences. Additionally, the project will include a cyberpunk reimagining of John Woo's A Better Tomorrow, dubbed as the world's first full-process AI-produced and animated feature film. Holy moly. Yeah, this is where we've had some breakthroughs, and this is like the big wave coming through, and it's gonna wash over the industry, because if this works, I'm telling you, Hollywood is gonna be rushing to dabble into this as well. This is backed by a substantial $13.9 million fund, and the project aims to honor these iconic films while pushing the boundaries of filmmaking by blending traditional cultural elements with cutting-edge technology. And you have to imagine AI being used to enhance these films in a way that hopefully preserves their legacy, and also giving it that modern standard look as well for today's audiences. And you have to understand, as this seems to be a project with good intentions, it also has a lot of implications. If it could work and it looks great, then that means you're going to get studios not only from the East, but Hollywood also, who are like, you know what, we have all these classic films as well, and we might want to do some AI remaster, AI remake of some kind, and they can then release it into theaters, and that could be a way to do reruns and acquire new forms of revenue. Believe me, it's going to happen. And this could be a way of easing people into accepting AI-rendered products, entertainment, and then they can push to do something even further. I'm someone who dabbles with AI generation, but just for, just to make like a short little meme and a little funny little video that I share with my friends. But a fully fledged, fully processed AI-generated project with millions of dollars involved, that is something to behold. I'm telling you, the entertainment industry will be changing quite a bit in the next few years, and I wouldn't be surprised when we get our a fully fledged AI rendered film being premiered in theaters right here. And we're just gonna this is gonna be a new thing for movie culture. I don't know how movie buff guys out there are going to feel about this, the cinema enthusiasts. I'm a little wary because it means that if you are going to be using AI, that means you're going to trim down the human talent that's involved with these types of projects. And that could be a whole nother thing in itself, because even now the entertainment industry is somewhat bleeding. Not every movie that comes out in theaters are hitting blockbuster hits. Studios and production houses realize they can't be funneling in $200-300 million budgets for today's movies. They need to trim it down. They gotta keep down their finances as little as possible. And then you got AI that could provide those cost-cutting tactics. And then you got a recipe for a disaster, maybe. And there's the other side as well, where people are like, this is revolutionary. This breaks the entry of barrier for people who have smaller budgets and they want to make their films and they want to make their little projects by using AI. I think that is still a valid argument. But how much needs to bleed in the industry? How many jobs and talent needs to suffer to achieve those type of goals? The thing is that, in any time in history, when there's change, it's something that we cannot avoid. It's about adapting towards that change and finding ways to live through that change, right? I mean, it's just how it is. Sooner or later, maybe 10 years from now, somebody will just create an artificial intelligent likeness of my voice and just play it on the air, and I'm out of a job. Let's hope not. But you guys let me know. Share your thoughts and opinion. Would love to hear from you guys. What do you think of this? And if there are classic films of old that you'd like to see have an AI remaster or remake, let me know. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with more news and highlights from the world of entertainment right here on the Evening Buzz. Stay tuned.